seems that Jamaica tourism has been doing well. Give us an update.
Yes, we have been doing very well. 2015 was a very good year for us. We ended up with 2.1 million stopover visitors, 1.6 million cruise visitors. So we had some 3.7 million visitors in 2015, which was actually a new record all around. So yes, we have been doing very well. And for the first 2 months of 2016, our preliminary numbers indicate that we're up about 3% in 2016 in stopovers.
So have you been able to diversify then your market? Is that part of the reason?
It's a very good question actually, because we continue to get the bulk of our business from the United States. Canada continues to be the second largest market, although we had a bit of a dip from Canada in 2015. The UK is our third market, and that has grown dramatically over the last 3 years. And then the other market that has really grown significantly is Northern Europe, as in Scandinavia. We've had some good business these last 2-3 years from Sweden, Denmark, and this year we're adding Norway and all of that. So we've been seeing some good business from Scandinavia. Of course, we continue to work the South American market, and my Caribbean neighbors have been doing quite well to Jamaica. So in that regard, we're working on keeping that diversity. We had the Russian market a few years ago, but because of geopolitical activities, that's no longer so. But that is where the Scandinavian market has come in. And we're, as I said, we're working the South American market to keep that going so that we can have the continued diversity in our source markets.
And Jamaica has also had an interest in the Chinese market. How's that?
Thank you for mentioning that, because we are seeing very good growth out of there. Of course, we're starting with a small base, so huge percentages are sort of meaningless. Having said that, we're up to some 3,000 Chinese visitors in 2015. So that tells you that we're really moving along, in that the previous year we only did 2,000. So yes, we are continuing to work the Chinese market. We are going back into the Japanese market, and actually starting this year, we're going to try to dip our toe into the Korean market, South Korea.
Are you looking at charters, direct flights?
We have analyzed that, and getting charters from China and that area may be a bit difficult because of the distance. What has worked very well is that simultaneous with our efforts, where we have relaxed the visa requirement for Chinese visitors to Jamaica, at the same time, the Americans have relaxed the situation for Chinese visitors to the United States. They are now giving them 10-year visas. There are numerous airlines that are increasing their activity between China and the United States. All of the American carriers that fly to China fly to Jamaica. So I'm trying to use that link to increase the business, as well as Air China has now started flying into the Caribbean. They're flying to Cuba. I'm trying to find a way to get some business off of that plane by putting in lift between Cuba and Jamaica.
That's an obvious question here, because everyone's talking now about the rapid rise of American visitors to Cuba as a result of the easing of the restrictions. So do we anticipate then from Jamaica closer collaboration with Cuba to spread that multi-destination experience?
Absolutely. One of the benefits we have is that we have always had a great relationship with Cuba, and we now plan to exploit that relationship and continue to work together to ensure that we get some of that multi-destination thing, so that the rise of Cuba with new American business will not be to our detriment, but we can work as partners to expand both our businesses.
You also talked about the rest of the Caribbean. It's not often that countries like Jamaica look south to the rest of the Caribbean for business, for a number of reasons. Are we anticipating?
I really think the potential for the entire region is actually very good with Cuba. Now, that may not necessarily be so with the American business, but certainly when you look at markets further afield, some of which Cuba has been in for a long time. Europe, China, and markets that sort of distance away. Latin America, which Cuba has been in Latin America for a very long time. I think we can actually work with Cuba as a region. We can work with Cuba to get those markets to do more multi-destination things in the Caribbean, and therefore we all benefit from it. Because Cuba only has so many rooms. So in order for them to absorb all this American business that's going to go there, something is going to be displaced. Because, you know, let's face it, we've all been competing with Cuba in Canada, Latin America, Europe for the longest time. So it makes sense, if the American market is going to open up to Cuba, that we work as partners in the entire region so that we can all benefit from all markets.
Not very long ago, a little over a year or so ago, Jamaica introduced a subtle change to its new tagline. How's that working?
Actually, it is working very well now. Initially, we were off to a little bit of a slow start because we did not do, and you know, you're in PR and advertising, we did not do all the things we needed to do. In other words, we launched the tagline, we did a television commercial, and we did some posters. That wasn't enough. We have now recalibrated, we tweaked the tagline a bit, we tweaked the advertising a bit, and we are now doing all the other things in terms of public relations and promotional activities, giveaway items and all of that, where we are now making it known that Jamaica is indeed the home of all right. And we are explaining what that means, because the home of all right and what we offer in Jamaica can only be found on one island, Jamaica.
And what does it mean?
Jamaica has a unique ambiance. It's something that you can touch and feel, but it is not physical. It's something that you can only get in Jamaica when you put together not only the wonderful weather, the beautiful beaches, the rivers and the mountains, but there is a vibe that comes with the music, the people, and just what is Jamaican. That is what we call all right. It is something that you feel when you get there, and you can only find it there, and we want to make sure everyone knows we are the home of all right. In the same way that we are the birthplace of reggae, the birthplace of jerk cuisine, we are the home of all right.
All right. Thank you.